Welcome back. In my previous videos, I discussed about nuclear fission, in particular fission of uranium-235 with the thermal neutron. We calculated the amount of energy released in the process. We compared that with various other energies that are produced by different processes. We also discussed what is called a statistical model of fission along with the liquid drop model. And in nuclear fission, what is important is the interaction of neutron with nucleus. We should understand how this neutron interacts with the nucleus. This lecture actually focuses on the interaction of neutron with matter. As we have learned in the last class, this nuclear interaction is understood with the help of a compound nucleus model which was proposed by Bohr in 1936. Here, when the nucleus is bombarded with a thermal neutron, that neutron is absorbed by the nucleus and we get what is called as compound nucleus. This is first stage. And in the second stage, what happens is this compound nucleus is highly unstable. It disintegrates by emission of particles. The second phase can be summarized through these equations. On the left hand side, you can see you have compound nucleus. This compound nucleus can emit a neutron, or it can emit two neutrons, or it can emit a proton, or it can emit an alpha particle, or it can emit a gamma photon. How to understand this mechanism? See, whenever this nucleus is hit by a neutron, then the energy of this neutron is used in two parts. A part of the energy is used as binding energy for this neutron to form a compound nucleus, and remaining energy is actually shared between the nucleons. So all the nucleons will share this energy, and it may so happen that in this process one particular nucleon, just like a neutron or a proton, may get enough energy which can overcome the binding energy of that compound nucleus. Therefore, it may come out. So you have neutron coming out, proton coming out. If the energy is sufficient, you may get two neutrons coming out, or you may get an alpha particle coming out, or this excited compound nucleus may come down to the ground state just by emitting a gamma photon. Or in some cases, you will see that this compound nucleus may break up to produce fragments Y1 and Y2. This is generally associated with emission of fresh neutrons. But in this process, this Z will be equal to Z1 plus Z2, and this A plus 1 will be equal to A1 plus A2 and nu. This is conserved. This is what is called as conservation of charge number and conservation of mass number. This neutron nucleus interaction can be summarized with the following division. You have nucleus here that is bombarded with this neutron. Then you can expect this neutron may just scatter in some direction. This scattering could be an elastic scattering where kinetic energy is conserved, or it can be an inelastic scattering where kinetic energy is not conserved. It may give out some energy to the nucleus, so nucleus may recoil in some particular direction. Or this neutron may be absorbed by this nucleus, and that absorption may lead to a capture process, just like the one which we mentioned about N-gamma reaction, or it may undergo fission. This concept of interaction of neutron with matter can be better understood with the help of what is called as microscopic cross section. This is in fact is used to represent the probability of nucleus neutron interaction. Suppose you assume that the incident beam has intensity I centimeter square per second, striking a thin film containing Na atoms and hence Na nuclei per centimeter square. Then the number of interactions, we call it as C, that will be proportional to the intensity of the incident beam and also the number of atoms or nuclei that is available for this interaction. Hence we write C is proportional to Na into I. In order to remove this proportionality, you have to introduce a constant, and that constant introduced is called as microscopic cross section. Therefore, the probability is given by this microscopic cross section, because number of interaction is proportional to this proportionality constant. So this constant times Na into I. This sigma has units of area and it is measured in terms of what is called as barns. One barn is equal to 10 power minus 24 centimeter square. Once again, schematically, we can represent this neutron nucleus interaction through the cross sections like this. Sigma total will be the sum of sigma scattering and sigma absorption. Further, this sigma scattering will be equal to sigma elastic scattering plus sigma inelastic scattering. This sum gives you sigma scattering, and further sigma total is sigma S plus sigma A. And what is the sigma A? So this can be further divided into two parts. We have capture process, as we mentioned earlier. That may be an N-gamma process or NP process, N-alpha process. So all those we have mentioned already. Or it could be a fission. The sum of these two gives sigma A, and sum of these two gives sigma S, and the sum of these two gives you sigma total. This is how total microscopic cross section can be calculated. Suppose we have some media, for example, of thickness, say here like this. You have some medium which are shown by these parallel lines. Assume a neutron beam of intensity I naught is incident here, and out of this I naught, I actually falls here on this distance x, and some neutrons are absorbed, and the intensity here, outcoming intensity is I plus di. Therefore, the decrease in intensity minus di in this area dx can be calculated like this. That decrease in intensity, this minus sign represents the intensity decreases as the neutron interacts with matter. That minus di is equal to Ni sigma into dx. This already we have seen. This depends on the number of interactions. This is Ni sigma into dx. From this, we can calculate di by I. This di by I will be equal to minus n sigma dx. Now, if you integrate this equation on both sides, you get log I is equal to minus n sigma integration of x with respect to x is x integration of 1, you have 1 here, integration of 1 with respect to x, so that is x plus c, where c is the constant of integration. This constant of integration can be evaluated by using the initial conditions. We noticed that in the previous graph, to start with, the intensity of the incident beam is I naught. That means I is equal to I naught when x is 0. Therefore, if you put in this formula, when I is equal to I naught, we get log I naught. That is obtained when x is equal to 0. So this term will go to 0. C is equal to log times I naught. If you substitute back the value of C in this expression, you get log I is equal to minus n sigma x plus log I naught. If you take this log I naught to the left hand side, you get log I is minus log I naught is equal to minus n sigma x, or in other words, I by I naught, log A minus log B is log of A by B. Log of I by I naught will be equal to minus n sigma x. If you take exponential on both sides, log and exponential cancels, you get I by I naught is equal to e to the power of minus n sigma x. Or in other words, I, which depends on thickness, I of x, will be equal to I naught into e to the power of minus n sigma x. This equation can also be written as I of x is equal to I naught into e to the power of minus capital sigma into x. This capital sigma is actually the product of n and sigma, small sigma. And as we call this as microscopic cross section, this small sigma is microscopic cross section, we call this as macroscopic cross section. But strictly speaking, that nomenclature is not correct, because this microscopic cross section actually represents cross section, that is the effective area of the nucleus exposed for the interaction of the neutrons, that is measured in terms of barns. I told you this cross section as the units of area, whereas this macroscopic cross section which we mentioned here is not really a cross section, because the dimensions of this sigma is inverse length. That nomenclature is not correct, but that is what we use in nuclear physics. Remember, this capital sigma is called as macroscopic cross section, and this small sigma is called as microscopic cross section. And this di, similarly, you can write it as the combination of all those processes that we mentioned. So you have elastic scattering, inelastic scattering, N gamma process, NP scattering, and so many things. So if you want to calculate the total di, it is the sum of all possibilities. And for each one, you can write the same thing, Ni sigma dx. Already we have written here. So it is Ni sigma dx. The amount of intensity decrease can be written as Ni sigma dx. For each process, you can write the same thing. And sigma elastic, sigma inelastic, all this total becomes sigma total, that we have mentioned already. Therefore, di can be written as minus In dx sigma total. And the product of this n into sigma total can be written as capital sigma total, that is total macroscopic cross section, and this is total microscopic cross section. You can write di is equal to minus I sigma total into dx. I have mentioned here the sigma total is sigma absorption and sigma scattering. Similarly, the total microscopic cross section is sigma absorption and sigma scattering. This is absorption 1, so that involves fission and capture. The sigma s involves elastic and inelastic scattering cross sections sum. So that's all for the day. Thank you.